It is high time that we come to a conclusion that men don't just choose out of obligation. They don't choose out of fear or habit. A man would choose because he feels an undeniable pull, a sense of rightness, a vision of shared life that feels both exciting and safe. A man's final choice would reflect what you already know. That when a woman understands him, when a woman honors him and connects on a deeper level, she becomes the one he can't imagine life without. That is the power of knowing the secret men keep. And that is the power that allows you to step into relationships that are transformative, that are passionate, and they are enduring. That understanding men's desires and fantasies and what drives their final choice is not about games or tricks or manipulation. No, we're not doing that. It's about awareness. It's about insights. It's about knowing who you are. It's about bringing your presence. It's about cultivating yourself, your energy, your confidence, your authenticity, so that the man in your life is naturally drawn to you. He's inspired by who you really are, and he's compelled to commit to you, not forced. See, a man doesn't leave because he stops loving you. He leaves when the connection no longer feels or feeds his soul, when he no longer sees the space to be fully himself and fully with you. Because a man's loyalty comes from feeling respected, feeling emotionally aligned, feeling safe and valued in his relationship. When these things are present, his commitment naturally grows. The first layer is understanding that men's fantasies are not just about what happens in the bedroom. Yes, sexual fantasies exist, but the deeper, more powerful fantasies are emotional and psychological. Men imagine being fully seen, fully understood, fully valued, and fully respected. They fantasize about connection that allows them to drop the armor, to stop performing, to, simply be themselves without judgment or fear. And many women don't realize that when a man withdraws or seems distant, it is not always because he doesn't care about you. He does. It can be because his emotional fantasies aren't being met. Desire may just bring him close, but loyalty is what keeps him there. And loyalty is born when a man feels emotionally nourished. See, when a woman understands this, she can observe a man's action. She can recognize the subtle signs of investment and respond in ways that deepen attraction rather than push her man away. Ladies, today we're going to dive into something that not enough women understand. Something that can completely shift the way you connect with the men in your life. We're going to uncover the secret men keep, the things they rarely say out loud, the fantasies they carry quietly, the desires that drive them, and ultimately why they make the choices they make when it comes to love, commitment, loyalty. And I want you to hear this clearly. Understanding this isn't about trying to manipulate him or change who you are. It's about seeing clearly, understanding, and connecting on a level that naturally draws him in. Because when you get this right, everything in your relationship changes. When you understand what truly motivates a man, when you see the invisible forces guiding his action, you can better navigate love with confidence, grace, and insight that most women don't even know exist. First, we need to talk about desires. See, many women think desire is just physical, but it isn't. Men desire more than just sex. They crave emotional resonance. They crave a connection that stimulates their minds, their hearts, the very sense of self. You need to have it at the back of your mind that a man's desire is often hidden behind jokes, casual touches, or the way he prioritizes your presence without even saying a word. You see, a man may want a woman physically, but his loyalty, his commitment, and his willingness to invest emotionally depends on a deeper alignment with his value, his dreams, his fantasies, his unspoken needs. Now, the truth is, most men won't say these things out loud. Not because they are dishonest, but because society has trained them to keep certain vulnerabilities inside, to not show weakness, to protect themselves. And this is where most women misread them. This is where most women get frustrated or confused, thinking that he doesn't care, or doesn't feel, when in reality, he's simply operating in a world where expressing desires and commitment isn't always easy or obvious. Do you get what I'm saying? Now let's go deeper into the hidden fantasies men carry. See, fantasies are often misunderstood. They aren't just sexual or physical. They're emotional fantasies where a man imagines being truly understood. He imagines being admired and seen for who he really is at his core. There are romantic fantasies where he dreams of moments that make him feel alive, appreciated, and cherished, where he dreams of moments that make him feel alive, feel appreciated and cherished, moments that are unexpected yet deeply meaningful. There are also adventurous fantasies where he longs for experiences that challenge him, that excites him, or connects him to something deeper than himself. Moments that allow him to feel alive, bold, and free. And then there are intimate fantasies, not just about the act of physical connection, but about scenarios where he feels fully desired, safe, and respected, where vulnerability can exist without fear. Now, these fantasies basically shape how he approaches love. He approaches loyalty and connection. And when you understand them, you can engage in ways that create, magnetic attraction without forcing it or without pretending to be someone that you're not. Now, let's talk about loyalty, because desire alone doesn't guarantee that a man will stay. Because a man's loyalty comes from feeling respected, feeling emotionally aligned, feeling safe and valued in his relationship. When these things are present, his commitment naturally grows. But you see, when women make certain mistakes, it pushes him away without us as women even realizing. And that comes from over-demanding attention, trying to control his emotions, reacting out of fear rather than understanding where he's coming from. All of these things chip away at the desire and the willingness to stay with you. See, a man doesn't leave because he stops loving you. He leaves when the connection no longer feels or feeds his soul, when he no longer sees the space to be fully himself and fully with you. And you want to know the subtle truth. The truth is that women who understand this, who learn to create space, who understand the balance of being deeply magnetic while maintaining self-respect, become irresistible in a way that goes far beyond surface attraction. So why does a man choose one woman over the other? Why does he commit fully to some and drift away from others? It's really about looks alone, or even about physical intimacy, to be honest. A man chooses a woman who aligns with his energy, who awakens his fantasies in a way that feels real, who sees him without trying to mold him, who values herself while valuing him, who can meet his deepest desires without losing her own identity. See, a man will commit when he senses that with her, he doesn't have to perform or pretend. He can fully be himself and be fully loved. But on the flip side of the coin, he will drift away from you when he feels pressured, when he feels unappreciated or misunderstood, when his deepest desires are ignored, when his deepest desires are minimized or misread. You see, women who understand these subtle dynamics, they tend to create a connection that is powerful, soulful, and even lasting. Because they understand that loyalty and desire are intertwined, and they see the invisible strings that can pull a man closer to them and those that can push him away from her. And they act from a place of insight rather than desperation or confusion. What pushes a man further away from you is when you act out of this desperation or confusion. It's not because you're a bad person. It's because you've not been able to control your emotions. Emotion is what gets you to be so desperate. And here is the thing that most women miss. Men communicate their desires not just in words, but in action, in energy, in subtle patterns. The way he notices you without being prompted. The moments that he prioritizes your happiness. The little things that he remembers about both of you. The sacrifices that he makes silently. These are the signals that show what he truly values and desires. If he pays attention, you can learn more about his fantasies, his needs, and his loyalty than any conversation could ever reveal. And when you respond to these signals with understanding, with respect, and with presence, You will create a dynamic where he chooses you because he wants to, not because he's forced to or he feels obligated to. And this is not manipulation. This is insight. This is wisdom. Knowing what men truly desire and understanding the fantasies that they rarely articulate, and also seeing why they make the choices they do, allows you to navigate love confidently. It allows you to navigate love, powerfully and deeply. You don't have to guess or overemphasize. You don't have to chase or plead. You just simply become the woman who resonates with his deepest self. The woman who awakens his fantasies in ways that are real, in ways that are sustainable. And you become the woman who naturally just inspires loyalty and commitment through presence and energy and understanding. All right? So it takes emotional depth for you to become this kind of woman. I think that more of us should go back to reading Steve Harvey's Think Like a Man and Act. Is he? Think Like a Man and Act Like a Woman. Abi? Act Like a Lady. Think Like a Man and Act Like a Lady. We should read it and then we'll understand how to navigate our ways with our men. When we come to the realization that men are not emotional beings, they are logical beings, and we are the ones who are emotional beings. And because we're emotional beings, we tend to override our place in our men's lives, and we overburden them with our desperation, our confusion, our emotions. That's when we will get a grip of ourselves, knowing that you need to think logically and act logically when you're with a man. There is a time and place for emotion, not all the time. When it's always emotional all the time, you will wear that man out. So today I want you to reflect. Look at the man in your life, past or present. Can you see where understanding hidden desires could change everything? Can you see how loyalty, how connection, how desires are intertwined in ways most women don't notice? Because when you do, your relationship just shifts. Your energy shifts. And suddenly the love, the commitment, and the intimacy that you thought were out of reach becomes natural. It becomes effortless and it becomes deeply fulfilling. So these are the secrets men keep, but now you know them. Use them wisely, use them authentically, and watch the way the men in your life respond. Watch the energy change. Watch desires. Watch how their desires and loyalty begin to grow, and watch how the love you create becomes something that lasts, something soulful, something meaningful, something that truly nourishes both of you. And remember, the secret isn't trying to control him or guess him. The secret is understanding him, connecting deeply, and being the woman who is magnetic, soulful, and aligned. So when you embody this, you would realize that your desires, his fantasies, and loyalty are no longer mysteries. They become an invitation to a connection that feels effortless, feels exciting and eternal. And that, my love, is the power of understanding the secret men keep. And now that we've uncovered the basic truth about men's desires and what drives loyalty, let's go deeper. You know I like to go deeper. Because listen, there are layers that most women never see. And this is due to the fact that men rarely articulate them. These layers are where the magic and sometimes the confusion lies. Now, the first layer is understanding that men's fantasies are not just about what happens in the bedroom. Yes, sexual fantasies exist, but the deeper, more powerful fantasies are emotional and psychological. Men imagine being fully seen, fully understood, fully valued, and fully respected. They fantasize about connection that allows them to drop the armor, to stop performing, to, simply be themselves without judgment or fear. And many women don't realize that when a man withdraws or seems distant, it is not always because he doesn't care about you. He does. It can be because his emotional fantasies aren't being met. So he's looking for validation of his inner world. He's looking for acknowledgement of who he really truly is, not just what he does for you. So when you tap into this, when you mirror his energy, when you notice, when you affirm and honor his inner desires, he becomes more drawn, more present, and more loyal to you without ever being told to be. Men can be loyal beings, But you need to find out what makes him tick and understand how to apply it in your relationship. Now, the second layer is about adventurous and experiential fantasies. Men crave experiences that make them feel alive, that make them feel significant and challenged. And this is why many men are drawn to women who have a sense of self, who are alive in their own world, who bring energy, who bring curiosity and, some level of unpredictability into the relationship. It's not about drama now or chaos. It's about a spark, a fire, a depth that keeps him intrigued and, engaged. So if a woman becomes predictable or overly compliant, his mind unconsciously just searches for the excitement that aligns with his inner fantasies. And you know what? These Gen Z girls, they know this. Magnetic women understand this. They don't have to act out games or play tricks. They simply just remain alive. They remain authentic and interesting. They cultivate their passions, their energy, their confidence, and in doing so, they naturally just align with the man's fantasies or engagement or excitement. And, they basically just connect on an emotional level quickly. Now, next is the subtle power of emotional fantasy. How a man imagines your response to him. Because men often test emotional boundaries quietly. They just observe. They notice and then they analyze how women respond to their gestures, their words, their presence. Men are very logical. And for you to be logical, you have to be observant and you have to be critical. And this is why it is critical to maintain a presence that is grounded, that is confident and self-respecting. Because a man may fantasize about a woman who challenges him intellectually, who responds with wit, who creates, playful tension, who communicates her needs without fear, and who allows him to be himself without judgment. Because men fantasize about a woman who can challenge him, who is intellectually smart, who can respond with wit, who can create playful tension here and there, who can communicate her needs without fear, who can allow him to be himself without judgment. Believe me, these are the fantasies that drive both desires and commitments in men. Women who unconsciously react with insecurity, who are jealous, who are needy, unintentionally just push men away from these fantasies because the emotional energy no longer feels aligned with the excitement and safety that he desires. And let's not forget loyalty. Desire may just bring him close, but loyalty is what keeps him there. And loyalty is born when a man feels emotionally nourished, when he feels respected and aligned with a woman who inspires him. So when a man's deepest fantasies are recognized, when his desires are subtly mirrored and respected, when he feels both challenged and safe, his loyalty solidifies. It's not about forcing him to stay. It's about creating an environment where staying becomes natural. And you see, we as women, we often miss this because we're trying to anchor him with words. We're trying to anchor him with rules. We're trying to give ultimatums instead of cultivating the energy and, the connection that naturally inspires your man to commit. The truth is this: loyalty is not earned by chasing. It is cultivated by alignment. Are both of you aligning? See, when a woman understands this, she can observe her man's action. She can recognize the subtle signs of investment and respond in ways that deepen attraction rather than push her man away. And finally, let's talk about choice. You see, every man makes choices, consciously or subconsciously. They make choices every single day. He chooses how to spend his time, his energy, and his attention. He chooses what fantasies he indulges in, which desires he prioritizes, and ultimately, which woman aligns with his inner world. See, a man will naturally gravitate towards the woman who embodies what he subconsciously dreams of, who aligns with his desires and fantasies, who respects herself and inspires him simultaneously. Because if you flip the coin, he will drift away when these alignments are missing, when his fantasies feel unfulfilled, or when he senses an imbalance in energy. And this is why understanding the unseen layers of his desire his fantasies and, loyalty is very, very important. It's very crucial because it allows you as a woman to step fully into your own power, to create a powerful attraction and to cultivate a relationship where the man chooses you, not out of obligation, but out of genuine alignment with who you really are and what he secretly longs for. So when you grasp this, ladies, you would realize that attraction, desire, loyalty are not random. They are energy, they are alignment and subtle connection. You will see the invisible thread that pulls your man closer to you. You will observe the fantasies that ignite his attention and then the loyalty that secures his commitment. It's not by forcing. It's not by giving him ultimatum. The moment you start giving your man ultimatum, you will lose him there. And when you start acting from a place of understanding, from insight, from soulful awareness, rather than fear or need or desperation, you become a woman he cannot help but choose. The woman who resonates with his deepest self and the woman whose presence is captivating and unforgettable. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now let's talk about what truly motivates a man to make his final choice of a woman. You see, many women think a man chooses based on looks, wealth, or convenience, or I don't know, but that's not only scratching the surface. The deeper truth here is that men choose based on alignment with their inner world or how a woman makes them feel in ways that satisfy both their desires and their unspoken fantasies. See, a man's final decision is really a single moment. It's a culmination of every interaction, every energy, every exchange, every subtle signs of understanding, respect, and connection that he has experienced over time with you. So what drives him to commit fully is the sense that with this woman, he can entirely be himself. That you see him, you honor him, and you inspire him simultaneously. Okay? And one of the biggest motivators is emotional resonance. Men are deeply affected by women who resonate with their values, their goals, and their essence. So when a woman understands his inner desires and reflects them back to him with authenticity and then engages with him on that deep level, she becomes indispensable. He feels understood. He feels appreciated and stimulated in ways that feels natural and effortless, not forced. And this emotional resonance is what creates the kind of pull that keeps him invested in you. He may not articulate it, but he feels it. And this is what guides his decision more than anything he can consciously express. Another motivator for a man to choose a woman is trust and safety. A man wants to know that he can reveal his vulnerabilities without fear of judgment, that he can share his fantasies, his dreams, his goals, and even his fears with this woman. And he's being met with respect and empathy plus understanding. So when a woman creates this sense of emotional safety, he will not only desire her, he will begin to envision a future with her. Because safety isn't boring. It is a platform for desire and loyalty. And without it, no matter how physically attractive or fun a woman can be, he will hesitate to fully commit. That's the truth. And respect is another cornerstone. Men don't joke with respect. Put sex and respect. Men will take respect more than sex. The day that you disrespect a man, no matter how good you are in bed, no matter if you're a sex goddess, you have lost him. Because respect for a man is like gold. That's another way a man chooses a woman. Men are motivated to choose women who respect themselves and by extension, respect him. And this respect is not submission. It's not about flattery. It's about self-value. It's about boundaries. It's about confidence. See, when a man sees that a woman values herself, holds her standards, and maintains her energy without trying to control him, it sparks desires and admiration for that woman. Know this and know peace. Respect makes him feel that he's choosing a partner who elevates his life. Someone whose presence amplifies his own energy rather than drain it. You can't say you're with a man that you love and you do not respect him. Love and respect go hand in hand. If you do not respect the man, you don't love him. So if you want the man to choose you, make sure that you respect him. And this is not you trying to be subservient. It is about the value you hold for yourself, and by extension, the value you see in him. Then there is this alignment with his fantasies and vision. Every man carries dreams and longings, many of which are never spoken aloud. Some are about adventures. Some are about intimacy. Some about building, legacy. Some are just emotional and spiritual connection. Now, the woman who aligns with these fantasies, not by pretending, but by genuinely resonating with them, becomes the one he envisions alive with. He sees her as the embodiment of both excitement and stability. He sees her as the embodiment of desire and connection and challenge and comfort. And this alignment is powerful. It pulls him towards making a final choice about her, because she's not just another option. She is the one who fits into his life's story in a way that no one else can. And it's also important to understand the role of energy and, emotional influence, because men are profoundly affected by the energy a woman carries. Not just the energy, the confidence and the calmness, the playfulness, the groundedness, all of them, the fire as well. So a woman who can maintain her energy, who responds instead of reacts all the time, who holds space for him while nurturing her own desires, becomes someone he can't help but choose. Because he feels alive, he feels inspired and deeply connected. And these feelings just naturally drives his decision far more than anything else. Finally, if you've not taken anything home, just understand that the combination of desire, trust, respect, alignment, and even energy motivates a man's ultimate choice. So when all of these elements converge, he sees a woman who fulfills his deepest needs without demanding, who inspires loyalty without forcing it, who ignites passion while nurturing the connection both of them share. It is high time that we come to a conclusion that men don't just choose out of obligation. They don't choose out of fear or habit. A man will choose because he feels an undeniable pull, a sense of rightness, a vision of shared life that feels both exciting and safe. So the women who understand this, who cultivate themselves, who move with insight and soulful presence, are the ones men choose, are the ones men commit to and stay loyal to. So understanding this will transform the way you approach love. You will no longer chase or guess or question his intentions, because you will see it. And when you see it, you just step fully into your own power, into your own energy and your values. And you allow the man to make his choice naturally. You allow him make his choice drawn by his desires, his fantasies, and the undeniable connection that you've created. And when that happens, the love, loyalty, and commitment that you receive will feel effortless, it will feel authentic, and it will feel deeply fulfilling. It will feel coerced. All right? So remember this, my sweet, sweet sisters. It's never just about being liked. It's about being resonant, in line, aligned, magnetic, soulful, which when you embody this, you're no longer part of the game. You are the prize. A man's final choice would reflect what you already know. That when a woman understands him, when a woman honors him and connects on a deeper level, she becomes the one he can't imagine life without. That is the power of knowing the secret men keep. And that is the power that allows you to step into relationships that are transformative, that are passionate, and they're enduring. Now, as we bring all of this together, let's be clear about one thing. That understanding men's desires and fantasies and what drives their final choice is not about games or tricks or manipulation. No, we're not doing that. It's about awareness. It's about insights. It's about knowing who you are. It's about bringing your presence. It's about cultivating yourself, your energy, your confidence, your authenticity, so that the man in your life is naturally drawn to you. He's inspired by who you really are, and he's compelled to commit to you, not forced. So take a moment and think about what you bring into your relationship. These are part of the things that when men ask you, what do you, in fact, the men in your life do not need to ask you what you bring to the table, because when they sit down and have a proper conversation with you, they already know what you are capable of bringing to the table without even asking. So if any man goes on to ask you what you bring to the table, then he hasn't seen anything yet but emptiness. So ask yourself, are you showing up as the woman who resonates with his inner world, who aligns with his desires, who inspires loyalty through your energy and your presence? Or are you just reaching out of fear, need, or you're reaching out of confusion, desperation, unknowingly pushing him away from the connection that he might otherwise crave? Because the answer lies in presence. It lies in soulful alignment, in understanding yourself as deeply as you seek to understand him. And also remember that a man's ultimate choice comes from seeing a woman who fulfills both his conscious and unconscious desires, who ignites his fantasies in ways that feel real, who honors his needs while maintaining her own value. All right? And who carries energy that is grounded and authentic. So when you embody this, you don't have to chase. You won't find yourself pleading or forcing anything. You simply become the woman who he chooses, the woman who he commits to, and the woman who he can't even imagine his life without. So as you move forward, I need you to take this insight to reflect on your relationship and consider how you can step fully into your power. Notice the energy that you bring, the boundaries that you hold, the confidence that you carry, and the depth of understanding that you cultivate, because these are the things that transform attraction into loyalty. You can have attraction but not have loyalty from a man. These are the things that transform desire into commitment and connection into something that lasts. This is the essence of the secret men keep. Not as puzzles to solve, but as keys to connection. All right? To a love that is soulful and enduring. So I would encourage every woman to step into this knowing and watch the way your relationship, your energy, and your life shifts in ways you never thought possible. Okay? So yeah, this is where we wrap it all up. Until I come your way, when I do come your way, do know that I love you and God loves you best. Mwah.